with Lauren Everson from Harrah's Lake Tahoe. You put this all together. Tell us about this year's event.
Great, thanks for being here, Sean. We really appreciate it. This is our third annual event here at South Lake Tahoe, our Food and Wine Festival. We start on Friday and end on Sunday. We usually have some high-end dinners on Friday and high-end wine tastings. This year we have celebrity chef Mark Estes from Reno. He did our dinner last night. But today is obviously our big day and the most exciting with our Epicurean Expo. We have over 14 food stations, 12 wine stations, 12 spirit stations, plenty of environmental entertainment, and Chef Mark Estes is going to do a cooking demonstration in a little while, as well as we have Chef Nathan Lyon, he's here signing books, and he's going to do another cooking demonstration. We have our Harrah's team from all over the Western Division come and help us put this on. But as we grow, we really want the locals to be involved. We are getting local participation as people coming to the event, but we actually want to get local restaurants, restaurants from Sacramento, restaurants from Reno, which Chef Mark is actually from. He has a restaurant in Reno called Campo, and locally here in South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, just everything I've seen here, I'm impressed. I know that Chef Mark's going to, I think, butcher a whole pig.
Yes, he is, actually, and so that'll be quite interesting. He's going to show us how, if you want to cook a pig at home and cut it up, any housewife, or me, who actually, being in the food and beverage business, I'm not a very good cook, I shouldn't admit that, but I'm going to learn how to cut up a pig today. So
I think that'll be helpful. I also, when I was walking around, I met, you guys have a local company, they make their own spirits. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, it's Lake Tahoe Moonshine, and this is the first year for him to participate, and we're really happy to have them. He opened his business up, I believe, a couple of years ago, and he's just now getting around town, and we wanted to invite him. He's got a great setup over there, old moonshine looking theme, and we're excited to have him, as well as we have San Francisco produce from here. We have some charity things going on. We're going to, we've invited the South Lake Tahoe We invited the Douglas County Fire Department and the South Lake Tahoe Fire Department, and we're going to be doing a cooking challenge later this afternoon around 4. Two of their best guys and two of South Lake Tahoe best guys are going to have 30 minutes to eat a 5-pound pork sandwich, 5 different styles of pork. It's a sandwich that we make down in our restaurant in the American River Cafe, and whoever wins, we're going to give them $500 to donate to their favorite charity. And also any proceeds, we're going to donate a portion of our proceeds of this event to the Carson Valley Food Chest. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
I like that. I was reading that you did an interview on one of the local newspapers, and it was talking about it's going to a charity, and I didn't know that. And that's kind of what my show entails, about people giving. It seems like you guys are giving a lot back. I was also, what was really interesting is your restaurants are all across the United States, so you have all different types of foods.
Yes, we do. But let me tell you, what we're really excited about is, Lake Tahoe has crawfish. It's not indigenous to the lake. This company has been working to get permits for years, finally got permits, and we've been buying what they've harvested and serving it up in our buffet, and we had it at our Louisiana dinner last night. Instead of buying the crawfish from Louisiana, we got it right out of Lake Tahoe, and as well as one of our stations is traditional jambalaya with crawfish, and it's served in a stuffed pig. But not only that, we have an Asian station with chicken and black bean garlic sauce, shrimp cocktails, ahi tartar. It's just a lot of high-end items here because we want everybody to get a taste of what not only Harrah's has to offer, but us, the community as well, and just have fun eating great food and tasting great wine, and we throw in the spirits for those folks that don't like wine necessarily.
I think the food also teaches culture, because you're learning about cultures from other areas. And I did a cooking competition a while back ago, and we had to do Southern cooking, and I enjoyed it. And it's that you offers culture too.
Yeah, absolutely. We brought the team from New Orleans. up here to do what we call the Down on the Bayou dinner, and the executive chef, he's the executive chef of Manning's in New Orleans, been there for 18 years in New Orleans with the Brennan Properties Commander's Palace, so he's learned a lot and brought it to our chefs, as well as his cook that came with him won the Chop Championship in July, so he did the demonstration for us last night. So they're sharing their culture with our Western California cuisine and vice versa.
It just seems like there's a lot of, fun and enjoyment here and a lot of things to learn, really. So I want to thank you for having us up here. And
thank you so much.
We'll definitely be covering everything and go in the other room and catch all the other shows.
We want to reach out to those Sacramento restaurants and get everybody up here so we can make it. We consider Sacramento our local clientele, so we want them to come up and get involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colin, what are you serving here today?
We're going to serve ancho chili rub flat iron steak with a charred corn, black bean, and a Paula salad with an avocado puree.
And this is the Harrah's restaurant?
And just south of Phoenix and Akchin.
So the Harrah's from all over the United States are here.
Absolutely. We'll all being showcased and having fun.
We're here with Chef Nathan Lyon. You gave a great presentation today. Could you let us know more about that?
Yeah, the presentation that I did was one of the recipes from my cookbook, seasonal cookbook. I'll just kind of prop that up. Great food starts fresh. And I believe that cooking and eating in season is just so good for you, for one, because Mother Nature puts everything you should be eating in front of you. So I broke the cookbook down into seasons, actually 5 seasons, the 5th season being chocolate, because it's like this universal season. And today I made one of the recipes from my cookbook. It's an apple fennel salad with black currants and shaved Parmigiano Reggiano. And it's starting to get nice and cool, and so you see things like apples, like fennel, things you should be having right now in the season. So what I like to tell people is, and what I shared today during this cooking demo is, when you eat in season, physiologically that's what you should be eating anyway. So when it's really hot out, you want to eat fruit, right? So like peaches and nectarines and tomatoes and make gazpacho. You don't want to eat like an extra creamy, cheesy, hot roast butternut squash risotto, because butternut squashes grow in late fall when it's colder. So it's just like all you have to do is show up at a farmer's market, you gather those ingredients, they will naturally work together in just like the most delicious way. And that's what I like to share in my book and also on the TV programs that I'm a part of.
And that's everything that's grown in season. I enjoyed it. You're even showing the mandolin. I like cooking with that because you get even cuts, and just everything you did, I kept saying, wow, it's just neat. You instructed people and you helped people a lot.
Thank you very much. Because there's something very loving and nurturing about cooking itself. Like I like cooking for myself just because I like to feel good about it, and I feel good. I don't feel heavy after I'm done eating. But when you cook for other people, there's something very special, like a community that's formed. And so, like if you don't have an Italian friend, go out and get yourself an Italian friend. Like the Italians, when their grandmothers live with them, and they teach their granddaughters and their grandsons, and it's just there's something about a really loving and nurturing thing about community and food. Regardless of your politics or where you live or your sexuality or anything, food is something that everyone has to enjoy. It's the common bond. So when you talk about breaking bread, you're literally breaking bread. And it's just this wonderful subtext in order to communicate and make a lot of friends. Let me tell you, when you can cook, you make a lot of friends. That's
some of the best meals I have. I have a friend that's Italian, and okay. I've never had it seemed like a 6 or 7 course meal.
It goes on forever.
What got you started? What gave you the passion to help people with your foods and cooking?
Well, I'm a product of my environment. So I grew up in Arlington, Virginia. And, my parents worked and my brothers were in school, and so my grandparents lived 3 houses down. And then I would go with my grandfather, and he had a tiny little humble garden. And I would, prepare the garden, and I would plant the seeds, and we would reap the benefits by harvesting things. And then I would go to my grandmother and learn how to prepare those things. And then when I got older, like 8 or 9, my mom would leave me a piece of paper saying, get the chicken, get the onions, get the garlic. And then I would start cooking. And then it just kind of went on from there. Like, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so we went to farmers markets and we ate from the garden. And it's very ironic that right now the most popular thing to do is go to farmers markets and garden. So it's really great that this country has come full circle from like eating mostly processed food to going to farmers markets to eating really fresh seasonal food. because at the end of the day, seasonal food is the most delicious. It has the most nutrition and it tastes the best. So it's like this 1, 2, 3 punch where you just can't go wrong.
I did. It was watching you when you were talking about stuff. It gives people that incentive to do those extra things, to eat healthy, to take care of themselves. Because really, kind of like how you were showing it, if you use the right tools and the right stuff, you can prepare a meal pretty quick.
Pretty quickly. And the secret of being a chef, and this is truly the secret of all the different restaurants and all the chefs that we want to emulate and kind of eat their food, is that a really good chef gets out of the way of the food. Like, we don't overdo it. Maybe 15 years ago, chefs were using foams all over the place and dehydrating things and making little powders. And right now, chefs are really celebrating the food, you know? So it's how do you prepare the freshest food in the most respectful way possible. And at the end of the day, I don't care whether you're a chef or a cook or someone just learning, you're going to do a great job and the food's going to taste great, because a delicious tomato doesn't have to be made delicious. It's already delicious, you know, and that's the secret.
It's kind of when you were talking about the garden, my dad had a garden. They grew up during the Depression. So it's kind of similar, you know, times are getting tougher now.
It is.
The neat family history that you had it's beautiful, because you got stuff passed down from your grandparents and your parents.
Yeah. Well, back in World War II, there were victory gardens, and it was about almost 60% of all the food consumed during World War II was from gardens, people gardening. And it doesn't cost anything. It's very nurturing. It's very therapeutic when you go out there and you get in contact with the earth and you grow your own food and you become the stewards of the land. And it just makes people, like, you know, you look around a little bit more, you give thanks a little bit more, you know, you can relax a little bit more. And gardening, let me tell you, when you see like a grandmother or grandfather gardening, they look really good and they're always smiling, you know, so there's some sort of secret to getting back to the land.
That is. Well, you know, I wanted to thank you.
Yeah,
you did a great, it was an educational show, besides just, you know, showing people how to stuff. It was a great educational show. And your book again?
Well, it's Great Food Starts Fresh. You can get it through my website, because I did all the photography, I did all the recipes, chefnathanlyon.com.
We're here with Chef Mike Grolan. And how was your event this
event has been fabulous. We're from New Orleans, and they asked us to come down and bring a little bit of New Orleans love, and that's what we did. We did a little dinner last night, the Down on the Bayou dinner, and then today we served some jambalaya, and it's been a wonderful event. The town's really welcomed us, really with open arms. It's been unbelievable. I think this place is beautiful. The only thing more beautiful is the people in it.
Have you ever been to Lake Tahoe before?
Never been to Tahoe. It's unbelievable.
Just in a couple months, it's going to be full of snow, so it'd be different. Now, the crawdads you serve, those are caught local?
Right. We did. We used the local crawfish. You know, we have lots of crawfish around New Orleans, and oddly enough, these crawfish are not much smaller. Everybody was thinking that they were smaller, and not much smaller than what we serve in New Orleans. So they're doing a really good job.
And what restaurant do you work with in New Orleans?
We are with Manning's at the Harris property of New Orleans.
And what's a signature dish for you?
Actually, I'm also a Jazz Fest vendor at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, and I'm kind of known for my shrimp and grits. Shrimp and grits. I do shrimp and grits, alligator sauce piquant, and shrimp and okra gumbo.
Okay, what's the alligator sauce?
Alligator's good. Alligator sauce piquant is basically a spicy red sauce, like a Diablo sauce, tomato sauce. I blacken the alligator, cook it through and through, and then what I do is when I'm out at the fest, I have it all chopped up and I cook it in those big 30-gallon kettles and cook it in this red sauce and make it nice and spicy. Like picante is simple to piquant.
That sounds delicious. Well, thank you for coming to the show, and thank you for all your excitement there. I enjoyed watching the food eating contest.
Yeah, Fireman did a great job. Fireman did a great job on that contest.
Again, this is Chef Mike Grolan
yeah.
from the Harris at the Manning's property. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
We're here with Chef Brad, who created this massive sandwich that actually helped out some charity. Can you let us know how you created this sandwich?
Yeah, well, we were just kind of figuring out, walking around the kitchen one day and realized we had a lot of pork around. And so I wanted to come up with something that we utilized all the pork that we had, including our Polish sausage, our sliced pork loin, pork cutlets, barbecue pork ribs, two types of bacon, regular and country fried, and our char siu pork. And so we came up with the idea we'd have a sandwich. And then when I got to put it together, I realized my bun wasn't big enough. So we went ahead and made a larger vessel for it, and voila, the pork dominator was born.
And this is how many pounds?
This is about 5.5 to 6 pounds of pork, along with a pound of bun and a little bit of coleslaw, because everyone's got to have their veggies.
So what happens if someone comes in and eats all this?
If they eat the whole sandwich in one sitting, we'll buy the sandwich for them. It's a $65 charge otherwise.
So they better be hungry.
They better be real hungry. We've had several people come in and split it amongst 4 people, and even sometimes they don't finish it.
Yeah, it sounds kind of nice. Like if a group of people come in, they could share a nice sandwich.
Indeed, we serve it in the American River Cafe from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. every day.
Well, this is the creator of a monster sandwich, and one of these days I might have to try it, but I definitely know I couldn't eat all that. Thanks, Brad.
Cheers, my pleasure.
Oh, yeah, right. If I could.
The strength to be able to do this. I can't believe this.
innings, ladies and gentlemen. 6, 5, 4, 3, come on out, 2, 1. Whatever you got in your hand. Wow. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for
It's important with one arm behind his back. We're here with Joe from Southern Wine and Spirits. He supplied everything here for today's event. Can you let us know some more about what you supplied?
Well, what we did is we were asked to put something on different than a standard wine tasting. So we put together cocktail booths, we put together wine booths, we put together beer stations. We actually did a sake station. And what we tried to do is create areas instead of walking up to a table that you would normally see at a wine tasting and see the wine up there and the bottles. We try to come up with areas. So for Francis Ford Coppola, for example, we got with them. They sent us some pasta, they sent us some sauce, they sent us the Godfather movies, and we showed the Godfather movie behind the booth where the gal was pouring Francis Ford Coppola wines. At the same time, we were sampling a puttanesca that was made with the Francis Ford Coppola pastas and pasta sauce. We made a lemonade stand with Sky Lemonade. Sky Blood Orange and lemonade is a terrific drink. It's real simple. It's easy. And we made a little lemonade stand there, and we had a gal acting like she was, just the kid on the corner selling lemonade, passing that out. We had a nightclub station that we did Voli vodka that Fergie and Pitbull are involved in, and Skinny Girl that Bethany Frankel has got the wines and the vodkas. And we did a cupcake station because we were doing an event at Vex this weekend, the Battle of the Bulge weekend. First night, Friday night, was light night. Tonight's going to be the icing on the cake, and we're going to pass out cupcakes, and we're going to do cupcake wines and vodkas tonight. And last night we did Voli cocktails. We've got Joel Gott wine that, if you've ever been into Calistoga, right outside of Calistoga, there's Gott's roadside cafe, and so we brought a picnic table in. We dressed it up like you were at Joel Gott's area. We did a snow cone machine with Malibu Red and did some different things. And we brought in all kinds of wines. We brought in Franciscan wine. We brought in a lot of partners with the Caesars Entertainment and the Harris Corporation. We brought Robert Mondavi. We had a Camus dinner last night, so we had Camus wines here. We had Croy Chrono wines. We had with Simi, and we also had Franciscan wine. we brought Corona in. We put a girl in a bathing suit, and just like you're at the beach with Corona. We did a girl at the beach with Patron margaritas. We had a sake station, which actually blew out before anything else was done. We tried to be creative, and we tried to come up with ideas that would pair with the foods or pair with the situation that they had here, and it seemed to be pretty successful. We brought Tahoe Moonshine in, who's a local person, as well as Tahoe Blue Vodka, and those guys set up little stations. So it was a partnership with our suppliers, a partnership with the Harris people, a partnership with new brands that we wanted to kick off and try to do something creative and fun for the community. And
I think you guys did a great job. I like how everything flowed. It wasn't like there was just, kind of wine in one section and liquor in one section of beer. It did flow. All the foods seemed to pair with it, so it was really nice in that aspect.
We tried, because we also did, like for example, we did a Di Serono and a little bit of Grey Goose Cherry Noir with chocolate milk, and we put that next to a dessert. We brought in, I didn't mention, Edgewood brought in a golf putting green, and they brought in a golf cart, and we put a girl out that looked like she was one of the cart girls and serving a Grey Goose Cherry Noir lemonade there. And that's what we tried to do. We tried to pair it, we tried to make it flow, we tried to make it different and something special, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
This was a very nice event, very fun event, and I appreciate being up here, and thanks for everything you guys did.
Thank you.